Pay attention. This Sunday's Gospel according to Luke offers us another resurrection appearance in the season of Easter. It is Luke's account of Jesus showing his hands and his side, which differs slightly from last Sunday's Gospel where Jesus met the apostles in the upper room according to the Gospel of John. What we don't hear is the amazing story of the disciples on the road to Emmaus, which was proclaimed on a weekday within the octave of Easter. On this Sunday, we only get a small review. Luke says, "The two disciples recounted what had taken place on the way, and how Jesus was made known to them in the breaking of bread." A number of historic paintings try to capture the two disciples with Jesus in the evening where he breaks bread with them. Caravaggio offers one of the best examples. However, I want to share with you a very special painting that only grabbed my attention after looking at it for well over a year. A copy of this painting by the Swiss landscape artist Robert Zund in 1877 was hanging in our parish rectory, and I didn't really think much of it. I thought it was just another landscape that would fill a rectory hall. But on closer examination, I discovered these three interesting figures. Jesus and the two disciples are on a road to Emmaus. Jesus is pointing to heaven as he explains to them the scriptures. Yet they still do not know who he is as he journeys with them along the way. Pay attention. He is hidden from their presence until he was made known to them in the breaking of the bread later that evening. In the Lucan account, Jesus acknowledges that the two disciples are slow to understand. Pay attention. Certainly, this is an example of who we are as people of God some 2,000 plus years later. How often are we slow to understand the impact of Christ who continues to journey with us along the way? Pay attention. How often do we fail to pay attention to the Lord? I love this painting because it reminds me that I too can be slow to see the Lord, just as I was slow to see these three figures hiding in plain sight. This, I believe, is the genius of the artist Robert Zund. His landscapes often hide the subject of the painting in plain sight. Zund purposefully paints these three figures in miniature form, sending a message that we are not all that different from the two disciples who did not recognize the Lord. The Gospel of Luke wants us to see the Lord when we least expect him. In this Sunday's Gospel, even as the disciples are recounting their experience with Jesus on the road to Emmaus, Jesus appears again. The apostles were not expecting this. They weren't paying attention. Our Easter challenge is to find Christ Jesus hiding in plain sight in the ordinary experiences of our day, in the poor and the marginalized, and of course, at Mass, in the breaking of the bread.